Frieren, Season 2, Episode 10. Yes, it is a deep canyon. Wow, that's a deep canyon. This isn't actually the last episode of the season, is it? 10 episodes? That's not correct. That is a deep canyon! Thankfully, it's a 3-kilometer canyon. Thankfully, it's not that wide, right? The width is sort of all that matters. Like, it could be 3,000 inches, and it would be the same result. Either way, you know, your ankles are gone, at the very least. Okay. Yes, it was the river. The ocean? Guess we have no choice but to stay here till next spring. I feel like there were other ways, you know, like a bridge, a stick. Yeah, after we just waited all winter. That might make 2 weeks feel longer, actually. She's in a good mood. There it is. What's the catch? What's the trick? It took 200 years? It's amazing that it took that long. There must have been a faster way, but maybe that's the point. Who said it was well made? Okay, the flying troll. There used to be a problem. There was a problem. This whole thing feels like an Aesop fable. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to hear about that. Okay, it's better than the tongue twister one. Oh, you also get pancakes. It's only 3,000 meters. Are you trusting your life to this rock ledge? And why did it take him 200 years? They couldn't arrive because there was no way to cross the canyon. If there had only been a bridge, this is some weird penance. This is a gift. What do you accept in return? We're paying you for the bridge. Wow, this really came around. The foresight. And Frieren so casually dropped the idea of like maybe checking out this bridge. You know, she was dying to walk it. I also don't think that in Himmel's whole thing of you need to have payment. The exchange doesn't necessarily need to be for the payer's benefit. You can commission something that is good for others, and that ends up also being for you. You don't need to yourself directly receive the bridge or whatever. This is a real bridge to nowhere, though. The patience and the commitment. Other travelers helped out along the way. Man, the music makes this so cool. This bridge building montage. The final nail must be so crazy too. Then what? What do you do then? This is like a 200-year healing project. Are you healed? Still sort of wrong, like murdering sleeping birds, but... Murdering awake birds, on the other hand. No problem. Cool. Start looking better and better. We murdered all those birds for you. All 3 people. That's what I want to know, yeah. What are you doing? Oh, I see. All those people formed a new village. They stuck around. That's cool. He's not just alone after all. And there also is a use for the bridge. Okay, yeah, I also feel stupid. There's something really broad-looking and empathetic about that gesture, right? Like, okay, you're too late. My initial thought looking at that, which was probably intended, was like, this is a healing thing. There's no village left to protect. The damage has already been done. But in that Frieren spirit, there's something really broad-minded and positive about the idea that it doesn't stop there. And there are bigger points beyond yourself. And so he starts building this bridge with faith that this will be useful for someone else later. Similar to what Himmel said to him about it being for Frieren. It seems like they shared that idea. And what do you know? It's one of those, if you build it, they will come type things. He built it for the next generation because he felt like it was the right thing to do. It's sort of the antithesis of that what's the point sort of disengagement outlook. What's the point of trying? It's too late anyway. Thanks for the bridge, for all your service. Episode 38, A Beautiful Sight. We're broke again. Can't help but think of where we started the season. Passing up on that huge crystal cave. I think she likes it. I think she enjoys this feeling. It's like how they take the long way when they can. Sort of an odd sentence for Frieren. Maybe we can take more quests, more monster murder. Oh, so now you want to make money on crystals. Now. Yeah, who wants to come here? Providing services to other adventurers, maybe. Oh, Stark, you're so naive. That's expensive. Yeah, because who wants to come here? So we just got poorer. Got it. We can do that. We definitely can kill monsters. Man, we're really like taking quests this episode. It's cool. So no one else can steal the rewards? Or no one can get the rewards. No questions asked. That's not our role. I see. Okay, yeah, keep other competitors out. But there might be something else. He's so good at that. Look at that. Wow, what a natural. Is that part of the warrior passive perks? I love Stark's quiet fishing arc this season. Oh yeah, here's our walking montage, but this time winter. Wow, it's beautiful. It's like Suicune. It's so beautiful though. It's a Ninetales. Ninetales Suicune. And also Dark Souls, they really tapped into something with this design. Princess Mononoke, the power. The speed. It's okay, you can chew on his head. Wow, the instincts. The agility. This feels like wrong somehow. I know like we're not supposed to feel any sympathy for demons and monsters, and I would like to just get over it. So what? It's a man-eating monster. You know, we just take that for granted. In this sort of universe, there's monsters that you need to kill. But it's so beautiful and majestic. This winter wolf. It's too bad we have no Pokeballs. It would be much more suitable to enslave it. I'm also really impressed. Like, they put a lot into action this season. It's sort of skewed towards the latter half, but recently it's been like every episode there's an epic battle of some sort. Yeah, it is. The impact is done really well, too. We're back to being bait. Bye. Fern just leaves. Nice block. That was cool. Where are you going? Yeah, she's super high up. Fern is terrifying. What? There you go, get your target at the top of the mountain. Just like shooting fish in a barrel. Damn! Is that not overkill? Oh my god. What the hell was that? That was different. She's always so calm. Unmoved. We just killed something of great beauty. What's the defense against her? She just can hit you from anywhere. How would you even know she's there? She's like in outer space. Fern just a quiet, invisible Death Star. She could be an assassin. She could be a real problem. Glad she's on our side. Okay, that's a lot of them. You just killed our mother. Our father. Our king. They came to pay their respects and mourn. Why did you come to kill us? We were just minding your own business. Oh my god. Imagine all the pelts you'll get though. You get paid for the job and for selling the pelts. That's how that works. I guess we have practice with this. Oh yeah, we know them. The sort of like the scouts. We're making progress one step at a time because we never gave up on our home. So relatable. I will freeze to death if you take my blanket. I hate that. Oh, is this the same? Okay, these are the same crystals. What's the difference? The hypocrisy. Why do you hate money? For the view. I did it for the view. It is beautiful. Did it for your view. This also is really cool because it ties both these arcs together. There's that broader empathy there, or understanding of value beyond oneself. You know, it's not for you. It's not about you. You live in a bigger world. You will never cross the bridge, but you pay for its construction. At least he got to enjoy this view with his friends. And there will come a time when the North is safe. It's no accident that Frieren made that comment about the North improving. Critically, it's not perfect. We haven't arrived at this happy ending point. That's part of the beauty of the premise of Frieren, you know, beyond Journey's End. It's not over. It's not the immediate solution or satisfaction. It's the bigger story. Himmel didn't solve the problems of the world or humanity. But man, did he like put a dent in it, if you know what I mean. One of these bricks is his, and that's forever. And look at this. There's actually visible progress. The North is better than it was. Just like that other hero we got introduced to who could allegedly see the future. People don't even know his name really, but he paved the way for Himmel. And he paved the way for Himmel to have this view, for example. The contribution of either of them is incalculable. If you just think about every single moment that stems from either of their actions, and that applies to us as well. I think one of the common messages in Frieren and in other shows as well is like, actually these things matter and there's significance to them. Not in an anxious way, not in a guilt-inducing way, but in a way where it's okay to care about stuff and there's real beauty to caring about it. It's okay to have hope and to believe in things and to seek the beauty in other people, even if there is an incentive sometimes to kind of downplay that. And that comes both from other people, you know, who have sort of given up on it themselves or just don't know how to approach it. And also personally, where maybe there's some self-preservation there where we've gotten burned in the past. And so like, it's scary to believe. And to believe things have value and are important and beautiful would imply some sort of responsibility that's hard to accept. It might mean we have to give up some of our safety mechanisms and accept ways in which we're not living up to our own standards. But that is all okay. And the good news is that's survivable once that initial shock wears off. And also, it's almost always beautiful on the other side. Himmel, I think he just really deeply cared in a very broad-minded way, but also in a very relaxed and sort of generous way, if that makes sense. Very sort of wise and calm and selfless. And it'll get better. Right. And it's not just the crystals. It is beautiful, and also it's beautiful. That's a lot of coin. That'll get you one sandwich around here. Yeah, here it is. That's noble as well. Yeah, please give us some more on this. He did. Well, this is sort of confusing because is it the physical location or not? I was about to say this episode at least gets us closer to that idea of like, you don't give up. You know, if you believe in something and you want progress, you don't run because it's difficult. And there's value and beauty in that. It's hard now, yeah, but we're not just thinking about ourselves and our difficulties. We're thinking about the future generations. And things will be better for them if we stay and we fight. That I think is really powerful and cool and is about more than just like, well, I was born here and I'll die here. That grounds it as something bigger than just like this point on the map. But then Fern just has to undermine it of like, well, yeah, well, Hyder also built my home through memories, which is more of like a conceptual connection to it, you know, like home is where the heart is and not the physical location. Not that it's mutually exclusive, but I'm just going to ignore Fern on this one completely or like treat it as a different point because it's, you know, it's beautiful in its own way and take this as at least a partial answer about the whole, why are we in the Northern Lands thing? It's for the future. It's for our kids. It's for the beauty that's there that is bigger than us. That is resonant to me. I'm happy you're happy. It's okay, you were like 3. In the ways that matter, yeah, it's true. Oh, that's so cool. Because she says the same thing about Himmel. Oh, that's so touching. Of course, it means so much more than that, right? Frieren is Fern's Himmel. There is such a beautiful like thread there through all of them. That's something Frieren captures really well. And that's bigger than can really be conceived, I think. And it goes in both directions. It's past and future. Because I wanted it. Good thinking, Fern. She attacks, but she also accountants. I did not get my money skills from you. We still have not unlocked the mysteries of this trunk. That was how this season started. That was the name of the first episode, I think. And the journey continues. Fern is a great example of that kind of person who is hard on you, but you know loves you. As opposed to the person who hates you but is really nice to you, you know? On the other end of that spectrum, it comes out over time. You can start to feel it. You know, it's really cool. I think they're all very clearly developing character-wise, but it's not super obvious or explicit. You know, just like gradually, they're becoming really nice and good and kind and working through some of their rough edges. They just feel solid emotionally. Oh, we know Adel. Sure. Did you take my memories also? That was private. Sorry what happened to you, Dinkin. This is Dinkin's dream? What's up? Why? That's my dream. Why? Don't tell me what to do, Adel. Oh, is that what you meant? Yeah, don't die, Dinkin. Awesome. That's gonna be so cool. He's definitely going there. Just Dinkin going in solo to the demon's lair. That's awesome. Okay, well, that'll be great someday, I guess. Wow, so that is season 2. It was a very interesting 10 episodes, I think. I will say that some things worked a lot better than others. I don't think all of the emotional moments or sort of the thematic exploration was at the heights of what season 1 accomplished. That said, I think this episode was one of the best in that regard. That I think also has a way of kind of tying a lot of the other things together as a whole in hindsight. Because aside from, you know, the big battle sequence episodes, which was amazing in its own right, most of the season was about exploring the Northern Lands and people undergoing hardship in a place that like most people would have given up on, you know, that maybe I would have given up on. And it's kind of like, why? What is it for? And this episode, I think, does a really nice job, despite Frieren trying to undermine it, of tying the location to something a lot more than just the physical place. It's our hopes and dreams. And like, this show is all about time and service to something greater than ourselves. You know, we're mortal. And that's the subject of despair at first glance, that, man, we're so insufficient and like, it doesn't even matter what I do. No one will remember my name. Everything turns to ash. Demons will probably continue terrorizing mankind. There will always be monsters, and you know, even if there weren't, there's just hardship, there's scarcity. That's just built into nature. It's just built into existence, that there's limited resources and death and decay. What the hell does it all matter? Like, just gonna live for myself and get pleasure, which is, you know, I know pleasure's real at least. Forget it. You know, why build this bridge? Everyone's already dead. But though it's hard, there's something so much more, which is that there's some hope, and we know there's goodness possible. Even if it doesn't feel like it, even if things are tough right now, you can't see it directly. It exists as a concept and you've experienced it before, and so it's real. And so what would be the highest pursuit we can imagine? What's the highest response? We fight and work for the things we believe in, even if we can't see the results right now, even if it takes 200 years, even if I won't be around to walk this bridge. Somebody will, and that will be good. You know, somebody will be around to see this site one day. I want to preserve that. It's not about me necessarily. The highest pleasure maybe is feeling connected to that very thing and feeling like you've done something that just in whatever small microscopic way has made a contribution towards what you believe in. In the format of the two-parter episode thing, I think the bridge one was a really great way to start the episode. You know, you could think of it as unrelated, right? These are just chapters, but I don't think it was. Why build this bridge for a village that doesn't exist? There will be a village here in the future. Also, interestingly, you could make the argument that there would have been no village there ever if he hadn't built the bridge, right? It's people who come along and find him there endeavoring on something, and they're like, maybe we can stick around. So he sort of like turned that dream into reality, even though he had nothing to work with starting out. You know, no materials, no money, no people, no village. And then the second part, you have very significant moments that I think were really important. I'm glad they were there. One is Frieren saying, wow, the North actually is changing. Critically, it's not that the North is perfect. It's that there's progress. And I mean, that's sort of everything. Like I've said many times, you know, I think personally more important than my existing state is the feeling of trajectory. So generally speaking, I think I feel better and more engaged and more activated at a low point and climbing than in, you know, a middle to high point that's very comfortable, but, you know, it's just kind of there. That situation just rolls into the same situation. There's no direction, there's no progress. That climb is really important and significant. The second moment is a really sweet comment by Frieren saying that's what Frieren would do, because Frieren says that about Himmel, and so, you know, that's directly that progression and that future. You know, Frieren and Stark are the future, just as everyone is. The show's directly covered this before, but Himmel's name will be forgotten, absolutely. Or, you know, it will be reduced into the smallest possible, easily passed portion where people don't really understand it in its depth. It's just, you know, a name that has a general connotation, and that's kind of the best you can hope for, probably. And Frieren's name also will fade, but they're still very much alive and will always be alive through their deed. And I think one of the arguments to be made in the show is that, well, the more you care about that, the more you think about that, you know, maybe the quicker and more directly you can access that and appreciate that beauty. Like, it does matter. There are going to be a lot of people after us, and there are people alive now, and we have this gift of life and our abilities. You know, we're all tapped into the same mana or whatever that we can draw on, and so it can be a challenge, it can be difficult, but it also can be a joy. It's beautiful and great to be able to participate, and we get to enjoy the view and each other's company along the way.